Hello and welcome to the Indie Pop Girl, the podcast where you will find music chat, new releases, hidden gems and nostalgic deep dives. Welcome to this Magdalena Bay special episode where I'll be discussing the duo and I'll be giving you my verdict of seeing them live for the very first time in Leeds last week. If you've not heard of them before, I'm going to give you a little introduction to Magdalena Bay and what they are all about. Magdalena Bay is an American pop duo formed in 2016 and are currently based in Los Angeles. The duo is real-life couple Mika Tannenbaum and Matthew Lewin, who write, produce and are multi-instrumentalists. Their music is classed as electropop, synth pop and alternative pop, but they have also experimented with indie pop, prog and rock, dream pop and shoegaze across their discography. They have released 2 studio albums, 3 EPs and 3 mixtapes. Their second album, Imaginal Disc, was released in 2024 and received widespread critical acclaim. I'll be discussing Imaginal Disc in more depth in a future episode, but I'll be mentioning some of the songs later on in my gig review, so if you like what you hear, stay tuned for more Magdalena Bay. I was introduced to Magdalena Bay back in 2021 during their Mercurial World era. I was noticing a lot of discussion online to the record, and I have to give credit to one of my favourite YouTubers, Mike the Snare, who is a big fan of Mercurial World and put the record in his top 10 albums of 2021. I don't think this will be the last time I mention Mike the Snare on my podcast, as I've been introduced to a lot of artists through his channel, and the boy has got some serious taste. So I decided to give Mercurial World a listen, and I had a feeling by the artwork and the genre that I was going to love it, and it didn't disappoint. I adore synth pop and electro pop, but there's just something about Magdalena Bay's sound that makes them completely unique. You could say that the retro synth pop sound has been recycled so many times over the years, and it is a popular sound with a lot of pop artists out there. But what Magdalena Bay provide is something more complex and a bit out of the box with a lot of their compositions. Mika's soft vocals are perfect for their often dreamy sound, but they don't shy away from going harder with their arrangements, and Imaginal Disc is proof that they are more than just synth pop with soft vocals. Since discovering them in 2021, I had a huge desire to see them live, and this year my husband and I got tickets to see them in Leeds after I introduced my husband to them and he went away and listened to their back catalogue in preparation. Thankfully, he liked what he heard, and seeing clips of Magdalena Bay perform at Primavera Festival on Instagram made us more excited for their live spectacle. Magdalena Bay added 2 UK dates in between their appearances at Primavera Festival in Spain and Portugal, playing in Bristol and Leeds only. I opted for the Leeds date and they played at the O2 Academy, which is a venue that we have been to over the years, and we really like Leeds overall for gigs. The First Direct Arena is another great option, and I'm sure it won't be long until Matt and Mika will be playing there, as their shows are a perfect fit for a larger setting. But for now, we were just lucky that we managed to get tickets, as both dates sold out quickly due to them becoming very popular and receiving more exposure. The Imaginal Mystery Tour has Matt and Mika playing tracks from their 2 studio albums, and they throw in a few surprises and fan favourites into the set list. And they are accompanied by Miles Sweeney, who plays keyboards, guitar and bass. And if you are a fan of Magdalena Bay, you will be aware of drumming god Nick Villa, who also joins them and really expands the sound live. I love how they go for the full live band sound, and I was so impressed by the musicianship that all display. I was also so impressed with Mika's stage presence. We managed to secure a spot on the barrier, and it was just a mind-blowing experience. The way how Mika balances her live vocals with costume changes, playing the guitar, engaging with the audience, and the chemistry she has with Matt and the band, honestly, she just blew me away. I love seeing her so up front and close, and she stood on a platform on the stage with steps, so for people who were a bit further back, they could still see her. She's so tiny. I loved her outfit with the angel wings. She looked absolutely stunning and reminded me of a little fairy Disney princess. I was also impressed with how Matt was switching from keyboards to guitar to the bass and backing vocals, and I would say that they are most definitely one of the best live experiences I have witnessed. You can hear the quality in their songs such as Death and Romance, Image, Cry For Me, and one of my personal favourites, Angel on a Satellite. Hearing that live was beautiful, and Mika's tender vocals was just perfect, and I got a bit teary-eyed. And you can see the quality in the way the songs are presented in a live setting. I appreciate the attention to detail, the stage setting with the surreal images from their videos on TV screens, especially the sheep during Killing Time. The costume changes and bringing the vision and the artistry to life. The set list was flawless, and they were completely on fire right from the start. You know when you're having the best time when the songs just fly by, and before you know it, you have reached the end. And I didn't want it to end. I've had a few days now to fully digest the gig from Tuesday night, so hopefully I can put into words here my overall feelings and thoughts. Seeing Magdalena Bay live for the first time was just one of those gigs that kind of give you a warm, fuzzy feeling as you're leaving the venue. I hope you know what I mean by this. It just made me so happy, and my husband and I left the O2 Academy totally buzzing and our ears ringing in the best way. The fact that they played Billions by Caroline Polachek before they made their entrance to the stage was just a total slay, and that just got my husband and I even more pumped up. From the second they stepped on stage, it felt like stepping into their own weird and wonderful universe. Combined with their surreal visuals and the dreamy glitch pop energy that only Magdalena Bay can pull off. They didn't just play songs. Matt and Mika performed them like characters in a sci-fi pop opera, perfectly matching the imaginal disc concepts and the aesthetic. The other tracks in the set list complemented the imaginal disc tracks perfectly, and overall it was a perfect flow, and they even included the transitions to the songs as what you would hear on the records. See what I mean about the attention to detail? It's off the scale. Hearing the outro to Tunnel Vision live with Nick Villa absolutely killing the drum kit was totally mind-blowing. I was rocking out, but at the same time it put me in a trance. I really can't put into the exact words to describe, but holy shit, it just left me speechless. Mika's infectious energy bouncing off Matt, who functions like a mad scientist on stage, the driving musical force, layering the synths and sounds, and the bass run he did at the end of the Ballad of Matt and Mika was just disgusting in the best way. It was just so sick, and we were both super impressed with his guitar solos. If you ever get the chance to see Magdalena Bay live, don't pass it up. It's not just a gig, it's an experience. Imagine stepping into a glittery, pixelated dream world where pop music is weird and emotional and theatrical all at once. Even if you're only vaguely into them on record, I would say that the live show will totally win you over. It's the kind of performance that stays with you. It's playful, it's surreal and full of heart. Genuinely one of the most creative and joyful shows I've ever been to. I promise you'll walk out smiling and a little bit obsessed. I'm still thinking about Mika's angel wings and Matt's chaotic bassline wizardry. It was that good.
I didn't mean to make a fuss. A vampire in the corner, just a bump in the dark. My God, it's only 'cause I love you too much.
I also just want to mention that the crowd were just so awesome. The people that we were standing with on the barrier and close by were so kind and considerate of other people's space. I've read so much negativity recently with people's experience at live gigs and that the overall concert etiquette is dead. I was a little bit anxious because of this, but as soon as we joined the queue outside of the venue, I had a feeling that this was going to be a chilled and relaxed experience. My anxieties were put to rest when we got into the venue and everyone was so respectful. I have read posts on Reddit of fans confirming that the people who come to a Magdalena Bay show are there for the show and just to experience the good vibes and to have a good time. We were all singing and having a dance together and it just felt so nice. There wasn't any pushing or poor etiquette where we were, just fans having a good time as it should be. The crowd were so respectful to Magdalena Bay, and even during the quieter moments there was no obnoxious talking. Everyone was singing along with Mika and it was just so heartwarming. I just want to give a shout out to all of the security and staff present at the O2 Academy in Leeds. They got people into the venue quickly. There was no messing about and everyone who we saw was super helpful and friendly. We appreciated the water that was being handed out because it was just so hot down on the floor and they made sure everyone was looked after and safe. We didn't wait for Matt and Mika at the end as we were back in the hotel and tucked up in bed, but it was lovely to see fans post the next day. Lots of smiling fans meeting Matt and Mika. And they do this a lot at their gigs. They have a bit of a reputation with spending time with their fans and signing merch. People have reported back that they are so warm and kind to their fans, and maybe the next time they come to the UK, we will do the same. I would love to have my copy of Imaginal Disc vinyl signed. Thanks for tuning in to this Magdalena Bay special with my gig review. Like I mentioned earlier, there'll be more Magdalena Bay coming soon in future episodes, and I'll be definitely doing an episode dedicated to Imaginal Disc because I have got a lot to say about that record, so stay tuned to the Indie Pop Girl. Please follow me on Instagram at the Indie Pop Girl, where I'll be creating more content very soon. I am also lurking on the AOTY website, so come and say hello and let's talk about the music that moves us so much. I would be grateful if you could follow, like, and share my podcast to help it grow, and I would love to connect with more music lovers out there. I've also created a public Spotify playlist and added some of my favourite tracks from the artists that I've already covered, and as the episodes grow I'll be adding more, so if you are curious with any of the artists and albums that I've covered, please give it a listen and who knows, you might find a new discovery. Until then, I'm Rachel, the Indie Pop Girl. Thanks for listening, and I will see you next time.